Hi guys, it's Josh Lloyd here for your NBA DraftKings first look for Thursday. While you're here, subscribe. The little button's just down below. Why don't you hit the bell next to it as well, and then you'll never miss one of these episodes or any of the episodes here on this channel. Give it a thumbs up as well, and drop your comment down below. We're looking at a 3-game slate NBA for Thursday. We've got Lakers and Bucks, we've got Pelicans and Jazz again, and then we've got the Knicks and the Warriors on this 3-game slate. So let's take a look at it. Let's go straight into that first game, and it is the Lakers and the Bucks. The Bucks are 1-point favorites at the moment, and the total is 228. And good news is we're pretty okay from an injury perspective. Of course, Lebron is on the injury report as questionable, as he is for literally every game, and then he plays every single game. Anthony Davis, KCP, and Wes Matthews are all probable, so they'll all play, and the Bucks have got a pretty clean bill of health. So if we're looking at the top end of things, which I think is the right place to start here, we can look at LeBron at 9-2. I think LeBron will be able to turn it up in this one and drop a 50. I like him, and I like the fact that Giannis is at 10-5. Two of the better plays on the slate at that high dollar mark. And then Anthony Davis is only 9-4. So there is a ton of value in those three. I probably lean more towards Giannis and to LeBron than I do to Davis, but I could go either direction there. We saw when the Bucks took on the Nets the other day that Brook Lopez played a lot. He played over 30 minutes in that one, and they limited Bobby Portis, and he's had over 30 fantasy points in each of the last 2 contests, Brook Lopez, in big minutes. In fact, he's played 30 minutes in each of the last 3 games. So at 5,100 for Brook, I think that makes a ton of sense, while Chris Middleton at 76 is probably a low upside play, a low ceiling play, but a really strong floor option. So that makes sense for your cash games. I'm not buying into what Dennis Schroeder did last game. He had 39 points. That's not one for me. Harrell at 52. I do like Montrezl Harrell at 52, although I do worry about how Giannis treats him and how those minutes will look if he's getting absolutely abused, which I think is a legitimate concern in this matchup. Other guys like Portis, Kuzma, Caruso, they're not really moving the needle for me at all. Drew Holiday at 6,600 is an interesting one. He's averaging 38 DraftKings points over the last 3 games, which at 6,600 is a really, really strong amount. Now, the Lakers can be pretty good defensively, but I don't mind Holiday at that salary. I'm not 100% in on it. I'd like him to be 35-point guy. I'm not sure that he is, although his recent production would tell me that I'm wrong and that he is that guy. So he is worth a look. I just think that we can probably find some other better options out there than we can Drew Holiday. The next game we look at is a rematch from the blowout that we saw on Wednesday, and that is the Utah Jazz. They are hosting the New Orleans Pelicans. The Jazz are 6.5-point favorites. This was a double-digit margin on Wednesday. The totals are very low, 217.5. Rudy Gobert is down at 7,200. That seems to me to be an absolute steal. He's averaging 42 over the last 3. He had 47 in only 30 minutes in this last matchup. I like that. Conley's at 6,500, and the shot's been way off for Conley. I think we can do better than him at that price. I'm not interested in Ingles at 4,300 either. I am a little bit intrigued with Donovan Mitchell, who's come under 8,000 now. He's at 7,900. His last 42, 36, 43, and 39 in the last 4 games, which is not bad. It's a solid enough floor, and he does have decent upside to consider. Steve Adams at 57, I want no part of, while Zion Williamson, he just can't really be stopped in terms of what he's doing offensively. 32 points on 19 shots last game. 31 points on 15 shots the game before that, which was 44 and 41 DraftKings points. His salary keeps coming down, so he's down at 7,700, which is really, really interesting to see it come down that much. I like him quite a bit in this one, even though the Gobert matchup can be tough. He seems to be able to beat that. Alexander Walker at 49, I'm not keen on, nor with Bledsoe, and Jordy Clarkson at 6-1. I know Clarkson is continually beating that number. I just don't have faith that that's going to be something that is able to continue, and I don't want to spend 6,100 on Jordan Clarkson at this point. It just feels too much. If we have a look at some other guys, again, we're on a 3-game slate here, so we want some sort of upside plays. Maybe it's JJ Redick at 3,500, and maybe it's George Niang at 31. Now, Niang's value did jump up when Ingles was out, so with Ingles back, he's probably not the right guy to take a look at, and we don't have any injury concerns, really, in terms of questionable status players at this point. I imagine Lonzo Ball will be on a minutes restriction again. He's at 5,500. It's okay. No one will use Lonzo, I don't think, in too many lineups, so he's worth a look there. Same with Bojan Bogdanovic at 5,000. And Bogdanovic has had struggles this year for sure, but the last couple of games he's been turning in some okay type performances. 26, 26, 23, 28. And at 5,000, 3 of those are above 5x value, which is not bad. And he does have that ability to get hot now. We just haven't seen it happen very often for him this season. So that takes away some of the interest in Bojan Bogdanovic here. But he's also not someone to completely fall off of. I don't think we care too much about Jackson Hayes or Derek Favors in this one. I haven't mentioned, actually, Brandon Ingram, who's at 8,500. Ingram's numbers of late have been a little bit down. 35 average over the last 5. 32 over the last 3, yet the salary is not really matching that up. It has come down to 8,500. It was over 9 in the last time we saw him out there. But I'm not completely convinced that he is the right guy that we want to put into a lineup. Again, that is just high. Like, he needs, 43, 45 to make a difference? And I'm not really sure that is something that we can expect. Although, in saying that, the last 3 times that Ingram has played the Jazz, including last game's 30-point performance, he's averaged 45 DraftKings points. So that means the 2 before that have been awesome. So he's at least worth considering in that GPP format, especially with the disappointing performance we saw from him on the slate the other day on Wednesday. The last game is the New York Knicks and the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors are on a back-to-back here. James Wiseman's at 4,500. I don't really feel confident in using Wiseman. He's up and down in terms of minutes. He's up and down in terms of production. He's not a bad GPP guy, but I'd say that's probably all he is here. Andy Wiggins at 6,200, not keen, while Oubre at 57. I do like that for Oubre, who's getting things back on track a little bit. Yeah, providing more value. 37, 28, 29 in his last 3 games on DraftKings scoring. And at 5,700, I'll take that. And he's still not quite at his best. Curry's at 96. He should be able to put up some big numbers against this Knicks team. But the Knicks are also welcoming back Alec Burks. Not that that does anything to stop Curry, but it puts a little bit of a wrench into what happens with the Quickly, Payton, Bullock type minutes. Burks was awesome before he got injured to start this season, averaging 35 to start the year. I don't think he'll do that, but at 5,300, he's in the mix for sure. Someone we have to look at and someone that could have a negative impact on Payton and Quickly, rendering them hard to use. 6,000 for Rowan Barrett Jr., 6,900 in fact for Rowan Barrett Jr. That looks pretty good to me. His shooting over the last couple of games has been strong, but does that mean a terrible performance is coming? I reckon it might. I reckon we're not far off him having an absolute, 2 for 14 type stinker, which is going to drop a ton of his value away. Julius Randle's at 8,800, and while the numbers have been dropping a little bit, they're not dropping enough. He's still averaging 46 over the last 3 games here, Julius Randle, and at sub 9,000, I reckon he's got to be a guy that we look at. If Andrew Wiggins, who was questionable before Wednesday's game, if he can't go in this one, Damian Lee at 3,500 would be the option for us there. While Quickly at 41, I can't get behind that. And then another guy who's been playing pretty well is Eric Pascal. He's at 4,600, putting up some good numbers in the second unit, but not someone that I feel particularly keen on using here in this matchup. That's the 3 games for an NBA on Thursday on DraftKings with your first look. Don't forget, hit subscribe down below. Check out the links in our description to get yourself a whole bunch of interesting stuff and help us out in the process. Hit subscribe. Find my podcast, Locked On Fantasy Basketball, as well, wherever you find podcasts. Guys, we are done. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. See ya.